What's up everybody? In today's review and tutorial, I'm going to be discussing this. The Synido LiveDock A20 audio interface. Let's get into it. First, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video review and tutorial, and that is Synido itself, for sending me the LiveDock A20 for a fair and unbiased review and tutorial. So let's get right into it. The first things first that you notice, it is very compact. It is smaller than a lot of other audio interfaces, especially one that has this amount of features. It's got its own microphone input. It's got its instrument input. Got your headphone out. You can even plug in a 5-volt power bank or just plug in a direct USB-C cable right into there to provide your device with power while you're using it. If not, it is powered by the device you have it plugged into. In my case, I have it plugged into my iPhone, and that is powering the unit right now. Now, the cable that goes out to your device itself is this cable right here, and you can see I've got it attached to the cable that goes to my lightning plug that goes into my iPhone. You've got a very short cable that it comes with, but it is attached, so that's just something to be aware of. Take very good care with bending this thing or not bending this thing, because if that wire kinks and breaks, your unit is no longer usable. I wish it had a separate plug that you could just remove the plug and plug in any old USB-C, but that's what we have. But for the price point that this thing is at, you're getting a lot of features here. Now, Synido told me that this unit is gonna cost about $50 or so. For that price, you really can't go wrong with the features there. So that's one thing I do like. If you're a DJ on a budget and you're looking for an audio interface on a budget, you can barely go wrong with using this thing. So as you see, it fits right in the palm of my hand. It is very thin and compact. You can even attach a little lanyard to it if need be, right there. You've got your Bluetooth connection right there. That way, if you need to plug in a Bluetooth device, let's say you're doing a live podcast somewhere, remote, and someone calls in, or you have a called-in guest, you can connect them right here with the Bluetooth. You just press in the Bluetooth like you would with any other Bluetooth device. You see that it's flashing in blue, and it would pop up in your Bluetooth available devices. Let's turn that off for now. You hold down the button for a second, and then the light goes away. Right next to that, you have the loop back button. Now, the loop back button, you just want to listen to what you just recorded in your headphones without having to remove all the wiring and plug in a set of headphones directly to your phone. The loopback feature can do that for you. So I could just stop this recording right now, rewind it, and listen to it back through this device. You can also turn that off. I press it down, you see it's no longer red. The loopback is now deactivated. Right next to that, you have the M&S button. Now, it's for you tire people, it doesn't mean mud and snow. It stands for mono or stereo input. It's very hard to tell to most ears when you go into mono or stereo. So if I play a track, there it goes in mono. There it goes in stereo. Now, unless you have a very trained audio engineer or an audiophile ear, you're not going to really tell the difference. And that is available for those of you who can tell the difference. Right on the side of this, you have separate volume controls for your microphone. You've got your microphone right there. You can see it drawn very nicely. Of course, it's in the shape of the everlasting SM58 microphone by Shure. So you just toggle the switch down or up if you want to bring up your microphone input. I have the microphone plugged directly into here. Let me grab that microphone and let's take a listen to what that sounds like. Let me turn off my main mic. 1, 2. So because it had a picture of an SM58, I thought that it would be nice that I plug in the SM58. So if I need a little bit more volume, I would toggle the switch upward on the plus button. If I want it to be a little bit lower, I would of course hold the minus button. And you heard my voice completely disappear. All right, so here is the microphone at full volume. Now, I don't know if you can tell when I'm speaking, there's a little bit of white noise just underneath my vocal itself. And it seems to sound like there's a gate automatically inside of this unit. Now, I wasn't told about that, but just by the way it sounds, it seems like this is a gated microphone. That bit of silence right there was me breathing into the microphone and you couldn't hear it. So that further proves my point, I believe, that this has some kind of gate control built into the unit itself. And again, this is an SM58, no tricks here. It's going directly from an XLR into this 3.5 millimeter jack, and you can hear what it sounds like here. It sounds decent enough, and again, for a $50 piece, to be able to have, say, your DJ set up here or your instrument and have your microphone, and then you got your headphone here, and you also have a Bluetooth input, you've got 3 inputs that you can use with this thing, and that's pretty impressive for something that costs this little. I'm going to switch back to my main mic on my Rodecaster Pro. And right underneath that toggle switch, you have the toggle switch that controls your instrument input. And you can see it does it in several decibel increments. You go from 3 to 6, then 6 to 12, then 12 to 18, then 18 to 21. Why they changed for going from 3 decibels, then to 6 decibel increments, then back to 3 decibel increments, I do not know. But there it is. And as I lower the instrument, you can see, because I have the Rodecaster Pro going directly into this unit, you can hear me getting lower and lower, and pretty much I'm gone. Now, right next to your LED meter showing you your volume output, you've got what looks like a very small record right here. This actually spins, as you can see. Now, what that does is that controls the volume of your headphones. So as I'm listening right now through the headphone jack, I can lower what I'm listening to, like turn it all the way down. It's off. I like to keep it like this where I can read the thing because my OCD would make my head explode if I left it like that. Right next to that, you have your input LED. This lets you know that you have a signal coming through the unit itself. There's no peak indicator. This is all you get. You get one red light letting you know basically that you're on air. Now let's take a listen to the DDJ Rev 1 playing a beat through this unit. And we're going to talk on the microphone just so you can hear it all at once. Not unlike Whitney Houston. All right, so there goes me talking. I'm going to switch to the microphone that's plugged directly into this unit. We're going to go from this microphone input from the Rodecaster Pro, and we're going to go to the SM58. All right, here we go. So here I am talking. It sounds decent enough, sounds clear enough. So now you're getting the full effect. You've got music passing through the unit, and you've got microphone passing through the unit. My headphone is nice and clear. Now if I turn up the DDJ Rev 1, it's going to overpower the microphone. So the microphone input does leave a little to be desired. It does need a better preamp, or maybe you can get yourself a cloud lifter and plug it directly into the microphone, and then from the cloud lifter into the microphone input here with a 3.5 millimeter to XLR adapter. I do not have a cloud lifter, so I can't show you that, but that's just something to consider. But again, for the price of this thing for $50, it's half price of what the old iRig Stream was priced at. Let me put them side by side. Here's the iRig Stream. I'm going to put it right next to it. The iRig Stream is definitely thinner, a little bit longer, but what the iRig Stream lacks is the inputs. You know, you can tentatively use 3 different inputs going into this Synido LiveDock A20. The iRig Stream only has an RCA input. So you would have to plug in, say, a microphone into your board and your controller or device and have it all run through the RCA inputs and control volume through each of the separate volume controls on your board or your soundboard or your DJ controller. But again, this is $100, this unit, and it has a lot of the same features. It just lacks 2 more inputs. So if you're looking for an all-around piece to bring with you that's pocket size, It's very thin, very portable. You can do a lot worse than getting the Synido LiveDock A20. Another thoughtful feature on here is the bottom. Now it says here all this stuff, digital audio adapter and all the random things made in China. But what I like about it, what makes it a thoughtful feature to me, is that they made it a high friction surface, so it doesn't slide around on your table if you're moving it, or say you pull a wire and move the entire thing. This whole thing causes a lot of friction. So if you check it out, I have it on top of the box it came in. If I go to move the unit, it takes the whole box with it. And that's how much friction is on the bottom of this. Very thoughtful for them to have done that. Now, my tabletop is felt here. If I put that on here, there's a lot of friction to move this thing. It's taken a lot of effort. So a nice little thoughtful feature that they added there. They didn't need to do it, but I'm glad that they did. Attention to detail like that with something is very important, especially from a company that is new to many of us, definitely new to me. And that's basically it. There you have it. You've got your instrument input, which I'm using as a line input coming from my Rodecaster Pro. I've got my DDJ Rev 1 going into the Rodecaster Pro. So all of that is going into here. The microphone's there, the headphone there. This is a good unit for the price. Now, if you can get past its microphone preamp and get yourself a cloud lifter with that XLR to 3.5 millimeter adapter, I think you're going to be golden with this. If you liked the video or found any value in it at all, please hit the like and subscribe. It costs you nothing. It doesn't even cost you a penny to just hit that like button. Helps the channel tremendously, and it makes it possible for me to continue making videos like this. I'd like to thank the entire community that we've built on this channel. We've built a nice community of people that are helping each other out all the time. I want to thank them for all the love and positivity I receive on this channel. And that's it. I will see you in the next video.